Elephant in the room, part of Roll Tide Pods and Disrupt the Media. And it's always great to have you guys. Mick Gillispie, and there he is. Let me throw him on the screen. Boom. Jake Coker, national championship winning quarterback and an expert in football commentary and beer drinking.
Oh, I'd love to see a real expert.
Well, good to see you, man. Big weekend for Alabama. Because the staff just finished the transfer portal up really strong.
Yep.
With the additions of King Mack, and before that it was the
all-time name right there.
Yeah, I love it, man. I'm gonna wear King crowns to crowns.
That's got NIL deal written all over.
Oh yeah. And then from Penn State, and then Vandermark, the big offensive lineman from Michigan State. And that's a pretty big weekend there. One Friday, one Saturday, you got Deshaun Jones from Wake Forest before that. So they got three of the most coveted portal pickups.
Yep.
Right there over the weekend.
Hey, at first they were slow. We were starting to wonder, and then all of a sudden here at the end, they've really made a push, really filled in a lot of those some perceived gaps. So, we thought the O-line was pretty strong already, but to add Vandermark in there, I think is going to be a hell of a piece of the puzzle and really, really help out with some depth issues there.
Yeah, I was worried too, and I think I've talked about this a lot, but where were we as far as like getting the pieces that we wanted to get to add to the team? Because it felt like when Saban was at Alabama, somebody would pop in the portal, the best player, and you'd be like, "Oh, Jahmyr Gibbs. Oh, yeah, we got him." Like right away. Oh, yeah. And then he would come to Tuscaloosa.
Well, even before the season was over, you're like, "Man, that's a hell of a back out of Georgia Tech," and it was like, he'll probably be at Alabama next year.
We need a quarterback, and they got that kid from Florida State came. Guy won a championship. But yeah,
that was. Before the real portal days, was it you telling me? Was it you? Maybe it was somebody else told me I ruined college football.
Well, a lot of people do point to that transfer as the beginning of this whole mess. And I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I might have said that before.
Definitely you.
It sounds like something I would have said. I should keep track of some of my best stuff that I have here. But I mean, it used to be to transfer, you have to sit out, you have to be a graduate. I mean, there were a lot of steps. People didn't really look at it the same way. It wasn't like,
it took a lot of effort to transfer.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't just the easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And you typically had 1 year of eligibility, unless you graduated in 3 years. And transferring for me was pretty tough.
Yeah.
There was a lot of work to get there.
Do you think that it's better now or better when you transferred or somewhere in the middle? And if it's somewhere in the middle, where would you want things?
Man, I thought it was pretty fair when I was transferring. Again, we've talked about when you graduate, that's kind of that was kind of the way to guarantee a commitment or a signature, on your LOI. You're there till you graduate, or you're going to be punished and have to sit out a year. It's kind of the perfect way to manage that. And now just because it's so easy, anybody can do it, and anybody that doesn't want to push through and face the adversity of not playing. And some of these guys are just true freshmen that, are feeling sorry for themselves, that want to leave and go somewhere else. It goes a long way for these kids to not play and get humbled a little bit, and then have to work their way back up and fit into a roster. For me at the quarterback position, it's a little bit different when you've got a guy coming in that's younger than you that starts, and there's really no other option outside of transferring. That's my opinion, at least. But when you're a freshman, you come in, it's like, Marlon Humphrey's one of the highest paid DBs in the NFL. And he was redshirted his freshman year. I don't think transferring ever crossed his mind.
Right. Yeah.
Now then again, you're playing for Coach Saban, and he's your position coach as well as the head coach and the best one in the country. So kind of hard to leave that, unless you've really burned a bridge. But I always point to Marlon Humphrey as one of the best examples of a guy who could have come in with a bad chip on his shoulder and felt sorry for himself, but man, the guy just worked hard and pushed through it and ended up being one hell of a player. He's always talented, but became one hell of a player after that year of learning and taking advantage of a year off.
So I can't remember. Was he got redshirted or something? Gray shirt?
Yeah, he got redshirted his first year. I mean, he was like a 5-star.
Yeah, I remember that.
Best DB in the country, and I mean, you always knew he was going to be a great player just watching him in practice. No matter, first day he stepped on the field, but I guess Coach Saban just felt like he needed a year to progress and get better, and he redshirted him. And I mean, year 2, he was a huge difference maker on our team in 2015.
Mm-hmm. He makes a lot of like comments about Alabama on his Twitter that make people mad, like when Saban retired, like saying something about everybody transferring and stuff. I wonder if he's just like kidding around.
Yeah, I mean,
is that his sense?
Marlon's a different guy in terms of his humor. I mean,
yeah,
I say that like you get to know him, you understand, and it's all funny, but he's gonna say some off the wall shit that you're like, what?
Yeah, right. So that's what I figured. Like,
but he's very intelligent, very smart.
Oh yeah, but I know what you mean. Like just get a reaction.
Oh yeah,
pretty funny to say, because when I don't know, they retweet it, and then everybody just gets so fired up about it. I'm always like,
Yeah, I mean, I would have to say the only time I feel like I've ever seen Marlon be dead serious was when he got that big deal and he was crying, talking about how thankful he was for his dad and his family and all that. I mean, that's the first real heartfelt, dead serious comment, statement, speech I've seen him make. Other than that, he's just goofy, funny guy,
mm-hmm.
And you can't really take what he says like he's being serious. I'd have hit the transfer portal too, is what he said, but he doesn't mean that.
Yeah. Well, his dad was a great football player.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, I remember seeing him in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Just one of the best backs, and so close to winning the Super Bowl with the Broncos, right?
Yeah.
And and those great teams.
You sit there and you watch Kalen DeBoer, and he's just so laid back, seems to have that team, just firing on all cylinders already off season. He's recruiting, he's getting guys in, he's got a great approach or demeanor. You see Terry and Arnold on the field saying, I'd love to play for you. You get that initial feel from a guy, and you can just kind of tell he's transparent and a good person.
Yeah.
And that lays the foundation for everything in coaching, in my opinion. Guys that love their coach, that respect them, that would run through a wall for them. I mean, that is the most key component to a good coach, in my opinion.
Is he going to be able to have success though, without like really yelling at people and getting in their face and, doing all that? Or,
everybody's got a different style,
Yeah.
And I think when he recruits kids, I think that he's got to, get a feel for them, understand if they're going to be a good fit. I mean, kids are going to go there and knowing or having that feel that they can be compatible with this guy and his personality and reach their potential with him being their head coach. I'm sure that I know that there's got to be other coaches on that staff that are, screaming and yelling and get after it guys. But I've always thought that a head coach, their demeanor has to be the calmest of any coach on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to be able to look at that guy like, all right, he's got it together. He's calm. He can make decisions without being too emotionally involved. So I love it. You know, I mean, again, Coach Saban was that way, you know, all the time, unless, you know, something effort or really dumb happened, effort related, or a really bad mental mistake occurred where he had to get on somebody's ass. But at the same time, when that was done and you know, he had gotten done tearing you up, it was next play. Let's move on. What do we got to do this time? You know, until Monday when the good and bad and ugly film came up and he was back chewing your ass.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty funny. Guys, I want to remind you a couple things. First off, show's brought to you by Roback.com. Roback.com. Use the promo code ROOM20, 20% off your first order at Roback. A lot of really cool shirts on there, and you love the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I do too. It's comfortable.
I need more. I need to mix up the patterns instead of just white and black. I'm still waiting on Jaylen to hook me up, so we'll have to give him a deadline here pretty soon.
Yeah. Look, if you just saying, you know, you can use Room 20 and get 20% off a shirt, you know, or two.
There's something that feels so comfortable about free.
That first box they sent you, it just
oh man,
kind of got your mouth watering. Huh?
Yeah. I take those sweatshirts. I love a good nap on the couch. I mean, a nap on the couch is pretty hard to beat.
Yeah.
And I usually put on, especially when it was colder outside, I'd wear a sweatshirt or something, you know, just no blanket, just a sweatshirt. And man, those sweatshirts have taken the cake for the best nap sweatshirt of all time.
They're so comfortable.
Oh man.
The gray one that I got, I love that thing.
It's like getting wrapped up in a warm cloud.
Yeah. Like it matches this hat, the gray one I have. And it's like you said, it is comfortable.
Oh yeah. I think
I
think I traded you for another one of those sweatshirts.
I had two of them. Yeah. You probably the green one.
I poached one. Yeah.
But that's all right.
The green one's my beat around one. The light blue one's my, you know,
going out in public, looking good.
Nicer one.
Nicer fit.
Yeah.
Well, everyone that's hanging out,
pretty bad when you know, state that a sweatshirt is your nice look. That's my nice sweatshirt.
Yeah. I've been
that's
over
my dress.
Look, I've been over to Mobile though. I'm totally joking, and I got to tell you, I was on the call for the South Alabama baseball team on TV Friday and Saturday. Pretty fun place. A lot of
Stanky Field.
Yeah, I saw our friend John Lieber's names on the wall.
He's a legend.
Stanky, and
he's a legend.
Jim Crawford, my old buddy Crawdaddy, who actually was the head coach in 1980 and got him to a regional. And then Stanky came back. He was like Stanky's right-hand man.
Yeah.
Crawdaddy. It was cool to kind of think about him again and, you know, be up there. But I loved it. I had a good time. They played Louisiana Monroe. So.
Yeah. I saw Coach Saban talking about ULM the other day.
Yeah.
Video.
I was there for the greatest moment in their school's history.
I still remember. I can't remember how old I was. 2007. I guess I was in like 8th grade. And I just remember listening to it on the radio like, this can't be real.
Six fumbles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then ULM put the billboard in Tuscaloosa.
I saw the one. They had a billboard that was like on the interstate when we were going to Shreveport for the bowl game. And I saw it on the way there. And I just thought, fuck you guys. We'll see you again. Sorry, everybody. That was younger me.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't think that now.
I mean, that's but for, you know, ULM, they don't care if you beat them 60-0 next year. This is live off that victory for years.
Yeah, it was a big
I
game.
mean, we still talk about it,
Mm.
but you don't remember beating ULM 2 years ago or 3 years ago,
Hammering them, burying them. Now they beat us, and that's what makes college football fun. Like that. That's going to change. I mean, with the NIL and everything
You're a ULM
else.
fan.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the top teams are just going to go take your best players if you're ULM, like you're a feeder system.
Yeah,
and and then after that, it's going to turn into basically a farm league, and then I'm guessing that it's going to be a breakaway of college football from like the elite conferences to maybe like a mid-level group.
Yeah.
Do you see that? I mean, that's what a lot of the talk's been right now.
Be 4 conferences moving forward.
Yeah, something like that.
Big Ten, SEC, I guess ACC will be out. I mean, I think there might end up being 2, just Big Ten and SEC.
Yeah, I mean that, but would that be good? I mean, as much as it, wasn't fun.
Here's
losing to ULM. At least there were level playing rules, and
Yeah, I mean, here's what I mean. It's what makes college football great in that sense. That's not my favorite part of college football. My favorite part of college football is the Alabama LSU game, the Alabama Tennessee game, Alabama Auburn game. If Alabama goes and plays Notre Dame or Oklahoma or Texas, and I have a lot of respect for anybody that plays for ULM or anywhere else, and it's not so much about them. It's more so just about the tradition and history of big-time college football programs playing each other. And really, I felt like what I've seen over the last few years or last really 5 years ago, I loved outside of the empty stadiums. I mean, that was terrible, but 2020 SEC schedule year was pretty awesome to me. I mean, SEC team after SEC team the entire year. You didn't have a week where, it was a game that, I might watch, I might not watch, because you knew the outcome. I mean, I just like big time games every week. And sometimes over the last few years, we've had weeks where there may be one game, and that game might be Georgia, Kentucky, still not quite the headliner you're looking for. So I'm just looking forward to bigger games every week, and I think we're going to get that this year. I mean, it's going to be crazy this year. So I don't know if it's all that bad, honestly.
Well, I mean, you're going to have a lot more big games, and we kind of talked about that too, like off the air about, and a little bit on the air too, the big games that you're going to have in college football. That's the best part about this whole thing. Bama versus Florida State in 2 years, Bama versus Wisconsin in 2 years, next year.
What has happened with Florida State? And I hadn't been paying attention outside of the ACC trying to sue them, and they're suing the ACC.
They won out.
Yeah, but is there any movement on that? Is anything going to happen?
I haven't heard yet. I mean, I think that it's lawsuits.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they see that they're not going to make the same money that they could make if they were playing against the SEC or the Big Ten, which there's a chance they could end up in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
But there's just too many bad games now. It's like there's too many Dukes and Wake Forests and, and maybe for the SEC, you trade out Vanderbilt and they go into a conference with Duke, Wake Forest, and those type of schools. Mm-hmm. And then, you get Florida State or something like that. I mean, I'm just saying what would make sense, because Vanderbilt's not competitive even a little bit.
Yeah. I should push Vanderbilt out, honestly.
Well, they choose not to be competitive. They make it to where they can't recruit because they've set their standards so high that they're not going to be able to get the best athletes in. They haven't invested in the facilities, but they're getting the money for it. Their team stinks. You guys suck. I mean, you've made you've made sucking kind of like your thing, except when Franklin was there. But you're still getting the same amount of TV revenue and conference money as everybody else. If you came in, you're in Nashville.
Yeah.
You came in and invested in putting the right facility in, and the NIL money that you guys could raise that a lot of other places couldn't raise. Vanderbilt could be a pretty good program really fast, but that's not what they want to do. And you look at the future, and it's like, I mean, I know they've been a member since this thing started, but they're an outlier to me. I mean, they're not even competitive.
Well, it's almost like, hey, what kind of teams do we want here? We want the teams that prioritize being good at athletics. I mean, that's what the SEC is, and really all sports. I mean, the SEC has been. Do you ever remember a time when the SEC was this good at football, basketball, baseball? I guess the big three.
Because basketball has always been our Achilles heel.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Kentucky's always been the one that carries the SEC, and every now and then they'd win one, but outside of that, you could forget about it. I mean, Arkansas had some good years in the past, and Florida did too. But Kentucky's the only long-standing dynasty in basketball that's been in the SEC, in my opinion. I mean, is anybody else? Tennessee has been good throughout my childhood for the most part.
In basketball?
Mm-hmm.
And
when Bruce Pearl showed up.
Well, yeah. And do you know what they have? They have the nicest arena in the league, or at least I could argue it is. I love that place. Yeah. It's just the way that the lights sit on the court, the way that the fans sit, the boxes.
What do you think of Neyland Stadium?
I like Neyland Stadium, but you know why? Because I enjoy going back to those places like Wrigley Field or Fenway Park. I get that vibe when I walk in there. I know that there's a lot of like classrooms that are around it, and there's like people talk about bad things like the portable air conditions. I have one in the studio, as a matter of fact. But really, when I'm in there and I'm watching a game, and it's like that gets that fall nip in the air, and I see Alabama run out in the crimson, the white. And I see Tennessee in the orange and the white, and they hit the field. It's special, man. I mean, and I like the Tennessee River being there, and I've always enjoyed it. Now, I won't sit in the upper deck there. Okay, got to sit lower level, and I've got to have the right seat. But I like it. What are you going to tell me? You don't like it?
No, I mean, I was going to just say, I mean, so when, like, if you stay at a really old, shitty hotel, are you like, man, I really appreciate this history.
Like that hotel in Milwaukee that has the ghosts. We talked about that before. There's a hotel that a lot of the teams in Milwaukee stay there, but it's haunted. And some of the players won't stay there because they've had like ghosts in the room and stuff. Yeah, I'm nostalgic when it comes to stuff like that. I like the fact that we cleaned up Bryant-Denny and turned it into a really nice stadium. Yeah. I still think they could do more with it, but it's good. It's great. Honestly, I mean, but you got to keep doing that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They've renovated. I'm going to say they're in the middle of a 5-part project at Neyland Stadium, but the bottom line to me is, when compared to other places, when I go there, I always feel like, man, this is cool. It kind of gives me like that old time vibe. I go to LSU and I'm like, I hate this place.
Yeah.
This is just not good. Like, it's just sucks there. And it's kind of dumpy. Went to Georgia the last time I was there before Kirby took over. And it was like, how come you guys can't like get a pressure washer out and pressure wash the concrete? But I knew that when he took over, I was like, one of my, Jody Davis, Cubs, great catcher. I talk about him a lot. My buddy, he's a huge Georgia fan. I said, Kirby's going to dot the I's and cross the T's, because it just hadn't been done.
Yeah.
And you go in there and there's like, like stains on on the facade of your, and all you need is a pressure washer. Go do that. I mean, I love that about Bryant-Denny. I feel like when I walk in, it looks good. And I feel like Saban was a part of that, but it's always been that way. It's always been good. Florida, that place is really old. But I kind of like the vibe there. Like it's not the worst place to watch a game. Where else? Vanderbilt, it's like a high school stadium. Mississippi State's like a high school stadium. Ole Miss is like a little bit better than a
State,
high school stadium.
I cannot stand. I don't know how the fans, when you grow up and you hear about the cowbells and you think it's such a cool tradition, and then you go there and all you hear is cowbell. And I mean, you literally it's not even a loud noise. At least it wasn't on the field. You could hear everything, but it was like, guys, can we just stop? I mean, it's the most annoying noise for 3.5 hours or however long you're out there. The cowbell nonstop that's the worst noise in football. I can't. When I was out of there, I was so glad I didn't have to go back.
Did you? Yeah. What was the score when you were there?
I was like 31-7 or something like that.
Yeah. That was the one where you said you couldn't throw, so you just had to hand it off the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much. Made a few throws, but that was the week after the LSU game where I separated my throwing shoulder, and so it was like, thank God Derek had a good game.
Yeah. Is that the biggest asset you ever had in college football, Derek Henry? That's a pretty good asset. I honestly, man, it's either Bryce Young or Derrick Henry is the best player ever at Alabama.
Yeah, I mean,
it's got to be, right?
Derek won the Heisman in the national championship, so that kind of takes him to me.
I'll buy that. Hey, look, I'll buy that. The Iron Bowl, both guys had amazing Iron Bowls.
Oh, yeah. I mean, now Bryce, geez, he absolutely carried that offense for a couple of years. I mean, went through hell his 2 year started 2 years. I mean, tough. He's the best quarterback that's ever played at Alabama. There's no doubt about it, in my opinion. But and I think Tua's right behind him. But as far as college quarterbacks go, I've never seen anybody dominate games and make plays happen like Bryce Young did.
Loved them. Both guys loved, different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
They're on the Mount Rushmore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we've got, I guess, it's just all of a sudden, I mean, in terms of Alabama quarterbacks that just came through with kind of the hype. I mean, it's all been in the last 4 years, really, since Jaylen.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, too, to see kind of how Jaylen does this year. You and I both have heard from different people that Simpson, the light bulbs come on.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing. The system they favor his style of play over Milroe. I'm not saying Milroe's not going to get the job, because I think he is.
I don't know, man. We'll see, because I think when you've got a guy that can run like Jaylen Milroe, it makes it so impossible to stop every option on the field.
Yeah, right.
You can't just spy Jaylen Milroe. Like, he's bigger, faster, and stronger than most linebackers, and a DB. I don't think one single DB can get him down.
Yeah, right. And he'll be playing this year with 2 years of eligibility remaining, although he says he's only gonna, this is his senior year.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's kind of gearing up for this to be it. But there were some times last year where you felt like the game against Michigan, where he was like not, he's running out of the way or falling down sometimes. Like, he'll truck those guys this year.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he will.
The LSU game is the Jaylen I want to see run.
Yeah,
the
me
ball.
too. Me too.
Wait, you talk about violent. I mean, that was the most violent effort from a quarterback I've ever seen in college or any form of football. Just punishing people. If people touched him, they were in danger of getting hurt. And that's what I want to see him do. That's what drove the offense last year. That's why we beat LSU the way we did. I mean, Jaylen was the engine for that offense, and he drove it.
Yeah.
If he didn't play well, we were in trouble.
Right.
But he threw the ball a lot better than everybody gave him credit for as well. I mean, I refuse to jump on that that notion that he doesn't throw the intermediate ball very well. I mean, it's not always the prettiest sometimes, but he's pretty damn good at buying time and getting the ball out accurately when he has to.
He's pretty good at feeling the game and making big plays.
Yeah, that's right.
And I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, all the other stuff is here nor there, but you got to have, if you're a running quarterback, you still have to have the ability to throw the ball to be successful. He can do that. I don't feel like him throwing is a detriment. I mean, when he was hurt, he threw us into a win at Texas A&M when they wanted to cream us. I mean, so I think that I think it's the perfect mix, to have him kind of be the guy and then him being pushed by Simpson and then maybe Lonergan too, and then Mac trying to figure it out. But I think that's pretty good quarterback room right there.
Yeah.
And that's all you want.
Yeah, we're in good hands. I mean, I'm really proud of Ty Simpson that he's sticking it out and wants to stay around and play at Alabama. I think everybody ought to have a high level of appreciation for him in today's college football world, where there's no guarantee at all that you're going to play, but just out of love for Alabama and respect for DeBoer and the little time they've spent together, he's really taken a leap into some unknown territory, and that's, again, says a lot about his character that he would do that.
Guys, I want to remind you that we're brought to you by MyBookie. Whether you bet to earn or to make games more exciting, MyBookie gives you the most for your money with their redesigned deposit bonus. Just use the promo code NEXTROUND, it's like this hat right here, to receive a cash bonus instantly to your MyBookie account. Using this bonus is simple. Bet your deposit amount once, and you're ready to cash out. It's no strings attached with MyBookie. Bet on the NBA, MLB, or play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly online blackjack tournaments. With so many brands to choose from, you need a platform that makes it simple to bet and win like MyBookie. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. You ready to bet? You've been watching any of the NBA playoffs are here? Or are you going to jump in when it gets down to like 4 teams?
Yeah, I'll jump in probably when it gets down to 4, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Maybe watch game 7 of the semifinals.
Yeah, right.
If it gets there.
Yeah. I'll get into it. In certain years it was fun watching Denver win last year. The Golden State Warriors run I always liked those teams.
The last series I really watched was in 2016. Let's see. It was the Cavaliers Warriors when the Cavs won it. With LeBron.
When
LeBron was there and what's the point guards and Kyrie Irving.
Mm-hmm.
I was hanging out with Evan Boehm and Matthias Farley. Again, when I was with the Cardinals, and it was kind of like being a freshman in college again. You just, you go to the facility, practice, do whatever all day, then you head back to Evan Boehm's apartment because he had one and he was drafted higher and had the money to pay for one.
Oh, yeah.
And so we all went to his place and watched the NBA finals, but we spent a lot of time together. That was a good time.
Celtics and the Cavs right now.
So Colin Sexton's not playing for the Cavaliers anymore, is he?
I have no clue. I'm just trying to give you the playoffs.
You Colin Sexton, don't you?
Yeah, played at Alabama, but I don't
that's why I'm asking.
I just told you I don't even watch it. I was just trying to bring you into this conversation.
You looked at me like,
don't do that to me
again. What the hell
are you doing? I know LeBron James. That's it. I was just going to tell you though who the teams were, because I've heard of them before too. Boston has a 2-1 lead on Cleveland, and the Knicks and the Pacers going old school, man. I used to watch when it was like Reggie Miller against the Knicks, Patrick Ewing.
I loved watching Reggie Miller.
Those are some fun ones. But that series is tied at 2. And then the Western Conference, which always wins, right? Dallas leads Oklahoma City 2-1 with games tonight. And then the Timberwolves and the Nuggets are tied at 2. Now, they have the 2 best players, Ginobili, and then
Ginobili.
Isn't that the guy's name?
I think you're taking it back to like 05.
Gannis. Come on, Mick.
There's some Hall of Fame basketball announcers now.
This is what people tune in for, the basketball talk.
It sounds like that Barstool Rough and Rowdy.
Go Bear is the one guy, right?
Is that the one you confused for Ginobili?
Oh, yeah. It is.
That was close.
Yeah, sorry. Anthony Edwards.
No, I do know him.
Yeah.
I do know him.
Mike Conley.
I don't know Mike Conley. I'm trying to think. I was big into it when Shaq was playing Iverson. The Lakers, the Sixers.
Yeah.
Back when the Nets with Jason Kidd used to be pretty good.
Isn't
Kenyon Martin and
oh yeah.
Was it Kerry Kittles?
Yeah, sure.
Richard Jefferson. Yeah, sure.
Man, I watched it. Like, this is gonna age me, but I remember watching like Larry versus Magic. I mean, and like you couldn't miss it. We talked about this before. You didn't miss those
How old
games.
were you back then?
I was a kid, but I mean that's what it was the thing. Like my neighborhood, I would go outside and everybody would be talking about it, and then everybody wanted to like pass the ball like Magic.
No, yeah.
So one of the many reasons I quit playing basketball was we would watch those games, and then I'd try to make like those behind the back passes at this one dude right in the nose. People still talk about it.
The nose, because
I could throw it really
beating your ass.
Well, I saw what happened was these guys were coming in behind me, and I saw an opening. And I have a pretty good arm, it doesn't look like what I do. And I just remember like taking the ball and putting it in like from my left hand to my right hand. And then I was just going to pass it like backwards, no look pass. And I could just tell when it left my hand, it had a lot of momentum on it. And then I heard the sound of a hollow ball.
Oh,
some guy got hit in the face.
God.
And he was so mad and he wanted to fight. And I was like, this is probably where it ends right here. I'll just broadcast this. Unlike you probably just like, you're just taller than everybody. They just throw it to you and you can just dunk it on them and stuff.
No, I used to be average height through middle school or till I was about a freshman in high school. So I had to learn how to get pretty good at, skill wise to play. And, I was pretty good at basketball, but,
if you don't say so yourself.
Yeah.
Now you've said that before, but your grandfather was a great basketball player. You love playing basketball.
Yeah, I love basketball. Loved it.
You could have played in college, junior college, or maybe like a low division.
I could have played a lower level,
like a Montevallo, like Dunaway school.
No, I think I could have played at. I think I could have possibly played in the Sun Belt school or a Mountain West school.
Really? So what have you been, like a 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you have good ball skills? Handles, as the kids call them?
When I was playing, I thought basketball was going to be my college sport.
You want to read?
Yeah, I need one. Listen to me. Yeah.
I just want to know about your handles. God.
No, I could have played at a low. I think I could have played at a low level D1 school. I had a camp at Auburn one time. It was the most ridiculous 3 days I've ever had playing basketball. Just whatever I shot was going in. I mean, it was just 3-ball. It didn't matter where I shot from. It was just going in. It was way above my head. And actually, Jeff Lebo was a coach at Auburn, and I was 6'4" at the time. And he came over and he was like, "Hey, man, you gained a little weight and you got a chance." And I was like, "All right, I hear you. I hear you." And I was all excited. And then that was going into my senior year, I think. And that was going into my junior year high school. And I was really, really working at basketball really hard because I thought that's what I was going to play in college.
So did you all of a sudden you went home and it was like you were watching the basketball tapes and doing all the training and stuff? were you serious? Were you just shooting
no,
three
I
after three?
I was very serious about it. I mean,
Yeah.
I was very serious about it. Yeah.
That guy shot. Remember that guy just started going in the gym and just shooting.
Who?
Serious.
Oh yeah.
And paid off.
Oh yeah. I mean, but that's in high school. I didn't do anything but play sports, and I mean that was all I did. So, I mean, on the weekends I'd be shooting a basketball all the time. I mean, that was just nonstop. And then when I started working with David Morris in Mobile, and he's like, "Man, you really got a shot at playing D1 football." And I loved playing football, but I never, nobody ever told me that.
Yeah, right.
I
guess
guess
you didn't play quarterback. You were like a tight end or something.
I played receiver till I was a freshman in high school when I was just kind of, just having fun.
Mm-hmm. What kind of hands did you have?
I mean, I caught the ball. I didn't have too much separation. I wasn't blowing anybody away with speed, that's for sure. But if you threw a jump ball, I had a pretty good chance of catching it.
Jump up and get it?
Yeah.
There you go. Well, I mean, it's
if I was, I was a catch the ball in traffic kind of guy,
Yeah.
I was actually starting safety on our high school team my sophomore year.
Yeah, I heard that. I ran into a guy that might have played football with you, the broadcaster at South. Crabtree.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Yeah,
man.
he's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
I said, let me ask you though, did you call him Jake or Jacob? And he said Jacob. So I knew you guys weren't very good friends.
Oh, don't say that on air.
Am I gonna have to cut that? I'm not cutting.
I mean, we weren't hanging out all the time, but I like
joking.
JT a lot.
He's a freshman. He was a freshman. You were a senior. You got
no. He was 2 years older than me.
2 years older.
Yeah,
I thought he was 3 years younger.
No, he's 2 years older than me.
Good guy though.
No, he is a good guy.
I'm just kidding. Everybody called you Jacob. That's a joke. It's a joke.
No, everybody. No, I mean, yeah. Again, it's not like me and JT hung out all the time, or we weren't on the same team.
Jake's your stage name.
I mean, when you're a sophomore and you're with a bunch of seniors, they call you whatever they want to call you. When you start playing and people start respecting you a little bit,
right? I know how
start
it goes.
calling you.
I know. And the weirdest thing about playing sports is when that moment happens, because in your mind, I don't know how yours is. I'm always I feel like I'm always underestimated, and then it's then you do something big, and people are like, "Oh, how did that happen?" It's like, man, I've been good the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What would you rather have though?
Well, that's like when I got to Alabama, all of a sudden the stigma was I was unathletic. I was like, I have never heard that until I got here. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, right.
That one used to drive me crazy.
I didn't really hear that one though. I didn't hear that at all. I covered it and I don't remember
I think
any
it
of
was
that.
my dad. I think we were playing Ole Miss and I was making runs and Chris Fowler said, "Oh, and Coker, the runner, all of a sudden, It's like I actually before the national championship, Chris Fowler called me and we were talking about some stuff and I was like, "Yeah, and y'all need to chill out about this unathletic thing." I was like, you see a big 6'5" white dude and you just automatically assume he's unathletic. I was like, y'all need to chill out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm joking around with him, but obviously a little truth in that.
No, I know what you mean. But whatever motivates you too, sometimes that stuff's good just to be motivated a little bit. Man, time flies though, man. I just can't believe it's been this will be the 10-year anniversary.
9.
20. But okay, yeah,
this
you're right.
season will be
yeah,
the
yeah,
9th.
yeah. Then the 10th. Okay, I don't want to make it go any faster than it did. But I'm thinking 2025,
very hard to believe,
as in the 2025 national championship, but it would actually be you guys actually played in 2016 because of 2015. So yeah, another year.
My daughter will be almost 6 at that 10-year reunion, so I hope she's old enough to. Hopefully, I can take her and she'll know what's going on. Maybe that'll be her first Alabama game.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. I am excited about showing her the Denny Chimes handprint and all that.
Yeah,
it'd be pretty cool.
Get to go through and and check out the scene and everything. Yeah, that'd be fun. Some big games too. Have you looked at the schedule and thought these are the ones I want to go to, or are you more like me where it's kind of like
I just got to figure it out when it gets closer?
Yeah, right. That's how I am too.
We got so much. Our family has so much shit that comes up every week, or something comes up 2 weeks from now. We got to figure it out. But I don't know. I want to make a couple. I'm trying to think. I think I went to one game this year. I don't know if I did or not. No, I didn't, because this Olivia was so young. I didn't go to a game this year. If I did, I've completely forgotten.
Yeah.
Time's moving by.
No,
fast.
You didn't go because I think we talked about this, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see what this team does. I mean, it's going to be offense first, but the secondary got a little better. But I don't know. I'm still really concerned about the cornerback position. Look at you in here, just getting here. Use this thing. Just use this chair that you broke as a.
You're mixing and matching personnel. Guys never played before.
Yeah, you broke the back off of that. So just
guys never played before. Now you got this light all jacked up. But
well, here you talk.
No, I don't need it. I'm good.
No, I got you.
No, I'm good.
That's what it's for.
But yeah, even if these guys are all 5 stars that we're bringing in, I mean, they still have never played together.
There you go.
And they still aren't getting a spring together.
I know.
They're basically getting a few player run 7-on-7s.
Yeah.
In 3 weeks in August.
I know.
To practice and figure it out. Yeah. Get all the calls right. Get in sync. Never had live action before. I mean, these coaches are doing the best they can, and I mean, I'm pulling for them, and I hope we go undefeated this year. But I'll be happy with a lot less than that, and I'll be proud of them no matter what, because they have come in and busted their ass.
Yeah, right.
But again, like we've talked about for the last few months, I don't think there's a better transition that could have possibly taken place. Now, I mean, the departure could have been a little bit better, but things turned out about as good as they possibly could have, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. You just got to go out there and do it. But
you're
exactly right. How many spots are on a basketball team? Like 13, 12, 13?
After this year, the amount of guys coming in, there's a lot more than I thought.
You knew exactly where I was going with this.
Yeah, because I think we got some more guys this past weekend, didn't we?
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. We got Mo back.
Can you pause it real quick?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hold on, but just act like you're not doing anything. And Paul, talking basketball here on Roll Tide Pod's Elephant in the Room podcast, and Jay Coker. I don't care that you broke the chair.
That was a shitty chair.
It was.
Anyway.
Honestly, it was. I don't buy Wayfair anymore because of that. That chair was like it was
a Wayfair chair.
Yeah. It goes to show you the quality of their merchandise.
I was about to say, you buy that with a crisp $5 bill?
You know what they do too is it breaks, and then they're like, "Oh, sorry, man, we can't help you." You know, they know.
You're gonna have to call customer support.
I did, and they're
No,
like,
no,
"You
I
waited
didn't.
30 days."
That's what I'm saying. That's what they tell
Oh
me.
yeah, right. All right, so Mo returned. I'm trying to find that. What did you think? Now I got to find the roster. What did you think about them adding McNeese State with Coach Wade? Pretty interesting, right? The guy that used to be at LSU, Alabama had all of the kind of the rivalry with.
Mm-hmm.
And then Purdue. I mean, these are some big games. I mean, this schedule is going to be like pretty impressive.
Purdue again. We're playing Purdue at home this year.
So,
no, it's neutral site, right?
Birmingham, and then up there the next year.
I think we played Purdue last year. And then 24. Are you looking at?
No, I mean, I'm telling you right now.
Remember, we lost to Purdue this year, beginning of the year. We've shot lights out from 3 and got beat.
Right. Home on home with Purdue. We'll travel to Mackey Arena at an unknown date. The Boilermakers will be in Tuscaloosa 25-26. So I guess it's 2 years then. But still, these are great games.
Okay, so Purdue's coming to Tuscaloosa not this year, but next year.
Yes. So I'm thinking, who was the other?
If they played in Tuscaloosa this year, it would be a madhouse.
I know. Oh, yeah, 92-86. Mark Sears and Zach Edey scored 35 points each in December. Yeah.
So we shot like almost 50% from 3 in the first half, I felt like.
Yep. Yeah, we both lost to UConn. But they're not going to have Zach Edey, right? I mean, isn't he going to the NBA?
He's got to be. Because he's been there for 3 years?
Yeah,
playing at least for the last year. And he cannot make any NIL money.
Why?
I think because he's not from. I think it is because he's from Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Look that up. I swear I think he can't make any NIL money.
Huh. So that would make you go to the NBA faster.
Yeah.
But having Mo back, I mean, is that, gives you another big man? I'm surprised because it looked like they were going to get the guy from Kentucky, the big center. And who knows what happens there, but they end up with the guy from Rutgers.
The guy from Kentucky's probably going to Arkansas, I would think.
Okay.
How do you think he's going to do at Arkansas?
Calipari?
Yeah, Calipari. You think he's done?
Dude, I saw the way that team played. You're right. You're exactly right. Oh, my goodness. Purdue star calls on U.S. to change NIL law. I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of money. Hey, buddy, go up there and play on the Canadian team.
Yeah. Welcome to the club, pal.
Yeah. That's got to be the quote of the show. Oh, my goodness. That's funny. You resemble that remark.
Yeah, he would have made. Oh my gosh! Imagine the amount of money he'd have made.
He wouldn't have been at Purdue if he was getting NIL.
Yeah.
What a find, though. I'm excited though, and you look at the roster for Alabama basketball, and it's like, I don't know if there's any more spots.
There can't be many, and you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that's, going to join that roster with the amount of talent on it right now. There can't be much, and I don't mean this. Not that any recruit would ever hear this, but I mean it's There's going to be a lot of competition out there for playing time, which is a great thing, and I love it.
Yeah, I do too. Because it's going to make your program better.
Yeah, we've made it. We've made it as a college basketball program. Just hope we can stay there as long as possible.
Yeah. All right, so here you go. Rylan Griffin transferred to Kansas. Devin Cosby, Wake Forest. Sam Walters, Michigan. Nick Pringle, South Carolina. And Mo Waggy back to Alabama, according to reports, right? We got Houston Mallett from Pepperdine, Chris Youngblood from South Florida, Aiden Holloway from Auburn, and Cliff Amori from Rutgers. And then we brought in freshmen, McDonald's All-American type guys. Darian Reed, 15 overall. Aiden Sherrill, 23 overall.
Can you imagine what those practices are going to be like?
They're going to be good, man.
I mean, all those guys fighting to play.
Yeah.
Freshmen, too. I mean, it is going to be a bloodbath out there. It is going to be awesome.
The thing is and Mark Sears is still in the draft, but maintaining eligibility. Same thing with Jaron Stevenson.
So how does that work? Like, if they get drafted in the third round of the NBA draft, they can say, I'm not going.
I think they have to pull out beforehand, maybe, where they just say they'll know.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
tell them, yeah.
Well, you know how it is. They're going to be like, man.
I just didn't know, like baseball. Apparently, I mean, I feel like they used to just draft baseball players, and you had to decide whether.
Yeah, that's how it used to go.
You were going or not. I mean, I remember there was a guy at our high school, Destin Hood. He played at St. Paul's, and he got drafted pretty high up, and he had to decide whether he wanted to play football at Alabama or go into the draft. And I mean, he was going to get paid over $1 million to just accept his draft status, and he ended up playing baseball. But I guess he could have pulled out and just played football or done something else.
Yeah. So I know the NBA draft thing's different than college baseball, where you're on the team, you just see your name come across the bottom of a screen, and you're like, oh, I guess you got to decide. Baseball doesn't put the. Well, I don't know enough about basketball to sit here and tell you what the financials are, but baseball started slotting their draft, and they're not going to, because of that, they're not going to convince a guy that's a good football prospect to go play baseball, because you have a better chance. It's easier to play in the NFL when you get drafted, right? It's not like you got to go to the minor leagues of football.
Yeah.
If you get drafted in the first 6 rounds, I mean, they want you to make the team. And, they do have a practice squad, but baseball takes a lot of years to get up there. And then, and the money's not that good anymore, but you can play for a long time. Like you know how it is. Like it's better. It's easier on your body playing baseball than it is playing football.
Yeah.
Just because of the injuries and stuff. But so with basketball, I think it's, from what I understand, it's you go through the process, and then you get an idea where your score is, and you got to figure out if you're going to go or not.
Yeah.
So I think he's coming back.
That's a good way to do it, honestly.
Yeah.
Not that I ever had that, issue or what, that circumstance, but if I were in that position, that'd be pretty awesome to be able to go test the playing field first, and then be able to come back if you need to. Some of these guys, because football, you declare, I think you're done.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
oh yeah, right.
Nowadays, with NIL, you could stick around and some of these guys make upwards to, if you're making that decision, you're making pretty good NIL money.
Yeah, right.
You got one hell of a thing going. That's the one area where I think NIL will make college football better, because people will stay longer.
What's going to make basketball better? Because Mark Sears, I think the guy could make $2 million. I'm not saying from just the NIL. Well, NIL as in, hey, here's the fund that we have over here established. I mean, he's actually someone that we thought NIL was for.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that someone watching the show would sponsor him to come on and hang out with us.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that someone that's selling cars or someone that's, Sears and Roebuck might want him. Like he's got value.
Uh-huh.
He's the most recognizable basketball player that Alabama's had in a long time. I mean, he's more recognizable and more popular than Brandon Miller.
Yeah, he is.
And he's more likable than Brandon. Not to say Brandon wasn't a good guy, but Mark Sears just pops off the page at you.
Oh, yeah.
You see him smile. You see the leadership.
Mm-hmm.
We all
effort.
The effort. We love his mom.
Cramping up on the court. Yeah, his mom's up there.
We love her too. She could help with the NIL.
She really could.
I'm serious. Like that's what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah.
You work hard and you have a season like he did last year.
That's the model of the NIL that we all thought would be NIL.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no doubt. Bama doing some good stuff in recruiting, as that starts to heat up. But you've got a bunch of visits that are lined up.
We're on cruise control now. Now we're in we got, I think Alabama baseball fell out of the top 25 here recently.
Mm-hmm. They did beat LSU though.
Yeah, I saw that. The walk-off error.
Yeah.
They win the next game.
They won 2 out of 3 against them. So.
Man, LSU's
they've fallen off. But when you lose the first 2 players in the draft, and their starter last year pitched for the Pirates in the big leagues on Saturday.
Yeah.
Paul Skeens.
I saw that. So,
that's just kind of like what you kind of what you deal with. The week 3 football time has week 3, September 14th at Wisconsin. Guess what time the game is?
Noon.
11 a.m. Central. That's how you got to do it. You go play those Big 12 teams on the road. You want it to be the way, Big 10. You want it to be the way that they do it. They play early games.
God, it's awful. That is awful.
Yeah. Next week.
There's nothing better than a 6:00 game.
So I want to say the next
2:30 or 6:00.
Next game is September 28th, home against Georgia, 6:30 on ABC.
The next weekend is. Did you say the next weekend is Georgia?
The next game is. We're off on the 21st.
Okay, yeah.
Then play the 28th.
That's what I thought.
Gives us a week off. Yeah, to get ready for that grueling matchup. Now,
Wisconsin.
Yep, in Tuscaloosa. Wisconsin was 7-6 last year, 5-4 in the Big Ten, but they've got Luke Fickell as their coach. He's going to eventually have them as a good team. And don't think that they haven't circled that game against Alabama as their coming out party.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they, what's so funny is during the summer, we had I guess it was somewhere around 12 weeks of summertime workouts. And so each week was dedicated to a certain team. Like when we were going into 2016, we had Wisconsin first, and then, it was each game week after week, and Scott Cochran was our head coach, or was our strength coach. And so every week on Monday, we'd walk up to the tunnel and, Coach Cochran would be going through who we're playing that week, who we're dedicating that week to. And say we were playing Texas A&M. Cochran would be like, he'd get done with his speech and he goes, "Oh, yeah, by the way," if we're playing A&M, he'd go, "Hey, Sean, where are you from?" And then Sean would be like, "I'm from Texas." "Fuck Texas."
Get everybody motivated, at least laughing, right?
Oh, yeah. That was always so funny.
He's out of football. What's he going to do?
Yeah.
I guess his son's a pretty good secondary player.
Yeah, Bo's a pretty good. I mean, he used to come up. It was so funny. He'd come up there and work out with us, and he'd be running around throwing the ball. It's crazy to see him get older, and he looks like he's jacked now.
Yeah.
Of course, it makes sense.
Yeah, right. I think he got the same, like the same screaming at that you guys got. Put it up.
I don't think it was that intense.
You can do it, buddy. Well, man, it's another fun episode in the books. Glad that you got to come over a couple times since I've been home. Fun stuff.
You gonna be in town Thursday?
Don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was going to, and now I don't think so. I don't know. We'll get on the same page, but a lot of fun, and just sit back and watch. They're naming all the places now where they're, like the list of places where they think that the national championship's going to be or where it's not going to be. And one place that it's not going to be is at the Rose Bowl. And as much as I like the Rose Bowl, I'm so thankful that it's not there because it's such a pain in the ass to get to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Don't like going to California.
I think it should be in Dallas every year.
Yeah, or
just dead center.
Yeah.
Dallas is the best stadium in the country, in my opinion. I'd love to see the national championship just there every year. That way it's easy for everybody to get there. It makes the most sense if you were to make a permanent place for the national championship. 2027,
Sin City, Las Vegas.
Okay, well, that's pretty good too.
I like that. Be going out there this summer for really it's just a facts finding mission to go to the Spear for 3 nights of Dead and Company and come back and tell you guys what that experience is like.
Oh man.
Should you waste your time there or not? So it's going to be a hell of a July. Okay. Then 2028 New Orleans, I'm fine with that. 2029 Dallas, you like that. And 2030 is Miami. At least they're negotiating for, they're going to pay whatever it is to get it. I mean, so that's kind of where you're looking at it. And then he said, this was from Brett McMurphy, that if they can't reach a deal, the backup sites are Houston, Phoenix, and Tampa. Tampa's it's a good stadium. It's a pain in the ass to get in and out of there. It's not made for big events. It's too small.
Yeah.
Phoenix, I like Phoenix.
I like Phoenix. Don't like Houston. Don't like Houston at all. Really don't like Miami either.
No, Miami's another one of these places. It's like there's one way out. Like the Allman Brothers song. It's like, that place is too hard to get in and out of.
Yeah. Yeah, Miami. And it's just so hard for other people to get there. You just think about logistically having the most people involved as possible.
Mm-hmm.
If USC's in it, that's going to be a tough flight, especially for people from California that I feel like aren't all that invested into college football.
Yeah.
Like people from Alabama or LSU or.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Phoenix, Dallas, New Orleans is okay. I mean,
it's close for us.
I don't think New Orleans is. I'd rather go to Phoenix than New Orleans, to be honest with you, even though it's easier.
It's easier on the pocketbook. I mean, when all you got to do is drive over there.
I'm not a huge fan of New Orleans, though.
It's definitely got a unique vibe. I like getting down there, but and I've had fun there before, but then
too much to me. Too much.
See on the news where it looks pretty dangerous, and I'm like, I wouldn't want to run into that.
Mm-hmm.
But the food's great. The people are always really nice. So, all right, dude. Well, let's wrap it up. Any final thoughts on today's episode? Anything that
got a lot of good things going on. I'm going to go ahead and if Alabama makes it to the World Series this year, it's going to be the best collegiate athletics year for Alabama ever.
In softball or baseball?
Baseball.
Do they have a chance?
You never know. I mean, they've been in and out of the top 25. You never know. Nobody thought we'd make it to the Final Four in basketball.
Yeah, they made a run last year. I don't know, though. I mean, they're not going to host a regional. So that means they're going to have to win as a visitor, which is tough to do. I mean, a lot of it just depends on where they end up. Do you see those softballs hosting?
I already don't like the attitude.
I hope I'm wrong. But softball's hosting. Did you see that? And then if they
had an SEC story about Alabama softball.
Yeah.
Saw it the other night.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Well, they're hosting, and then the winner of their regional plays at Tennessee. If Tennessee wins that regional, unless they get upset. So Tennessee's like a national seed. They won the SEC. So, but yeah, look, I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I love baseball.
Too.
Yeah, you do too. But I mean, it's not like it takes a lot of effort to get there when you're not the hosting seed. You like those odds.
Yeah. It takes a lot of effort to get to the Final Four when you're a 4 seed too,
Yeah, but man, they had so much bad luck over the last 3 tournaments that it was finally all that bad luck turned to good luck this time. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why it's like that, but it just sometimes is like that.
I mean, we've had about 60 years of bad luck, Well, I say that 04 was a good run. Made it to the Elite 8,
but I don't think we've been that good up until recently. I think Godfrey had some teams, but
the year prior to this most recent one was, that was the best team
we ever had. You're right.
Again, we've been down that rabbit hole with what happened mid-year that ruined everything.
Yeah, right.
That put a damper on the whole thing.
I guess the last thing would be, some people have reached out to me about the Dunaway roast at the Floribama, and it sounds like a lot of people would want to be part of that.
That's not good for Dunaway. A lot of people got a lot of things to say, I guess.
What if we raised money for a good cause? Would that make it worth it? Man, Tom Brady's taking some heat right now. And he loves it. Like, he doesn't care. And I don't care if I was him either.
I heard it's Nikki Glazer.
Yeah.
She said he wasn't too happy about it.
Yeah.
But you signed up for it, pal.
Yeah.
Was it
$25 million he got? Is that what I heard?
I don't know, but that'd be
how much money would it take for you to get roasted by professionals like that?
Wouldn't take 25 million. I know that.
Yeah, right. Do you think Derrick Henry's name would be brought up a little bit?
Yeah.
But who cares though? He'd probably be there.
Say more. If you want.
Yeah. I wonder how good he would be at roasting, because you'd have to have him there.
Derrick.
It would be on your. We should have started the show at this, because now I'm curious.
Ryan would be on there.
Ryan Kelly.
Dylan Lee would be on there. You gotta have Coach Saban. Lane, I'm sure Lane would be very, very entertaining and long-winded.
Yeah, right.
Jimbo. I'm trying to think. Probably have Andre Ware on there. Not a big fan of mine.
No. Hey, what if we roasted Lane Kiffin?
That would a lot of material there to work with.
Hey, if he's looking to raise money for NIL. Look, you want to go to the SIP? You want this guy to buy you? Go ahead, because that would be worth the money right there. He's the guy you want to roast.
Yeah.
No offense, Jake. Not that you've got some fun stuff, but can you imagine that roast?
Well, it's good when you don't have a lot of material to be made fun of for.
Yeah, right.
Man, I got the easy ones. I know that.
Oh man, he's famous enough where I think people would be interested.
Oh, well, if SEC Network did it, it would be huge.
But would they do it right though?
No, they wouldn't.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But I mean, if
Gotta go to
if
Netflix.
they did, though, they would make a ton of money.
Yeah, right.
Netflix, I just don't know if it's the right platform.
Dude,
Do you think there'd be enough people interested in that?
I think we'd find it. It's not like I watch a lot of Netflix. You know?
Yeah.
When Dave Chappelle drops a show, I go and watch it.
That was unbelievable what they did, though. Netflix. I mean, that's the best job of just letting it ride. Let people say what they want to say, and I mean, some of the stuff will make you flinch a little bit, but it was. I mean, it was. It's still great to hear just authentic commentary.
Yeah, right. Do you think he's ever going to try to take Taekwondo lessons? We heard a lot of that, didn't we? All right, so
he does look like a totally different person than what he used to look like.
Yeah, he's getting older too.
The one thing Kim Kardashian said that she said he looked like her stepdad. That was so funny.
I got to tell you, man, this is going to be an unpopular take, and for those of you that are still hanging, because this was supposed to be an hour. We're in overtime right now. We've just caught this vein that we got to kind of finish up on, but Ron Burgundy sucked.
I didn't even see that part.
He was just not good. Like it just wasn't. I mean, he comes out. You love the outfit. Love Will Ferrell. I love Will Ferrell, but it just wasn't that good to me.
Yeah,
like it just like when you after Nikki Glacier came.
But I don't think those are. It's not to me. If you're doing a roast, you don't need somebody else playing a part. Playing a character during a roast.
Yeah, right. Come in like she did. Jeff Ross was great. There was a couple other, the two guys, Bert Kreischer and the other guy, awful. God, it was so bad. The pictures on the video, and somebody told me it's because I don't watch his podcast. I don't watch his podcast. I see him on Rogan. So I like him on Rogan, but not funny to me. Like none of it. Those two, I was like, oh my God. Like,
was it Tom Segura?
Yeah.
You think I didn't see Tom Segura's part, but I think he's hilarious.
He wasn't on the roast though.
He wasn't.
No, I mean, like none of it was like, oh my God. Like after Nikki's like making you laugh, like you can't stop laughing, and then you got to stop just to hear what she's going to say next to make you laugh.
Well, do you think it wasn't funny because of what came before it?
I just don't think it was that funny.
Yeah. I usually think Tom Segura is funny. I think Bert would be a really fun guy to hang out with, but his content is not always the funniest to me.
Yeah, right. Like,
Yeah.
But
I like jokes that have some thought to them.
Me too. So if you're like, okay, so if I'm getting roasted, right, and I can just pick whoever I want, I want like Darnell McDonald from Chappelle Show. I want Dave Chappelle. Nikki could come get some. I mean, I would hate that, but boy, that would be funny. I would.
Rough one. Hers
Ross
pretty deep.
Yeah.
She's just got a way of saying stuff that's like.
But I'm saying, like, if you were finding the best people,
yeah.
And I don't even know, like, I mean, I'm sure Chappelle would come up with funny stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if he's big into roasting,
but I could see him.
He would.
Yeah, right. If he did it, it would be funny.
What about Ron White? You think Ron White?
I like Ron White, but I don't know if
Joey Diaz.
I know Joey Diaz. No, definitely not. Would you have him on yours?
I don't know that. I mean, it would be. I'm sure it'd be hard to follow and really, really, really crude. But it would be. He's funny in moments.
Okay.
No. Let's see. I go with Dave Chappelle for sure. What's his name? The guy that was on there, Andrew. The guy that was on there. He made the joke about Diddy.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I saw him. Ryan, the little skinny guy.
He's got a kind of a Hispanic look to him a little bit. It's Andrew something. It's not. Andrew Santino. You heard of him? I'd have him do it for sure.
Andrew Schultz.
Andrew Schultz. Yeah.
Oh, he looks to me like he's part of like the Third Reich or something. that look. That look.
We look at the same.
You talking about the guy with the mustache?
Yeah.
And the hair with it was like short. They were making fun of him for that. Or like a vaudeville.
Andrew Schultz?
Or like a vaudeville guy.
Hang on. Let me tell you.
It's definitely him.
You just said he looked like what?
Like he's from the Third Reich or something. Like,
man, if we were on this podcast, we'd be having some really, really.
You don't see that? When I saw him at the thing, I was like, I thought he was in character. Like, I thought he was like in some kind of a character.
See, I think he looks like Brazilian or something.
Well, maybe that's it then. I don't know. Like, I'm looking at the pictures and he.
Well, hang on, let's see.
But from that side angle with that way that hair was cut,
he's definitely doing some weird stuff with the hair.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. He looks. He didn't when I watched it, I didn't get like a Latino feel to him, you know. Now I'm looking at this. Well, I do now, but I mean, I'm just saying the only time I ever saw him was at that roast. And I was like, what is this?
From New York, but let's see.
He looked like he was an extra in Django Unchained or something. I'm just kidding. What was the other movie that Tarantino did? The one
Hateful Eight, Inglourious Basterds.
Yes. Ryan Sickler would have to be in my my roast too. He's a really funny dude.
Oh, Eddie Murphy.
Well, I like Charlie Murphy. You know, he's my favorite.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if Eddie, you know, I don't know about Eddie. Eddie just seems like he's kind of like in the same category as Martin Lawrence and, you know, those guys that aren't going to get their hands dirty anymore.
Yeah.
They've made too much money and like, you know.
I always heard, what's his name? One of the Wayans brothers is one of the best.
I love those guys.
Yeah, one of the best stand-ups.
Yeah.
Just never got a whole lot of recognition.
Yeah. No, I like both of those
movies,
guys.
but never got a whole lot of recognition for their stand-up.
They used to be on a show called In Living Color, and I loved them.
Yeah.
They were great. So, well, we'll keep pushing hard for the Dunaway roast.
That's got to happen.
See if we can, you know, just kind of urge those guys to put
next
this
time
together.
They're down, we'll have to do it. Get Big Earl in on
it. I'd want Big Earl in my roast.
Yeah. I have been roasted by Big Earl.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Oh, well, how was that?
I mean, it would have been better if my in-laws weren't present. I can tell you that.
that was a spoiler, huh?
Yeah, it was some things said you don't want said around here.
What is that?
It's just kind of like you're leaving the 4-man, you're like, well, that was awkward.
Yeah. You just don't talk about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed when we get back.
I'm so tired.
If you want to leave, I'll just get an Uber.
You just don't. Everybody acts like they didn't just see it. All right, guys. Hey, let me remind you that we're brought to you by MyBookie. Whether you bet to earn or to make games more exciting, MyBookie gives you the most for your money with their redesigned bonus pool. Just use the promo code NEXTROUND to receive a cash bonus instantly to your MyBookie account. Using this bonus is simple. Bet your deposit amount just once, and you're ready to cash out. It's no strings attached with MyBookie. Bet on the NBA, MLB, or play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly online blackjack tournament. So with so many to choose from, you need a platform that is simple to bet and win like MyBookie. Bet anytime, anything, anywhere with MyBookie. And finally, as we wrap things up, Rhoback.com. Use the promo code ROOM20 for 20% off your first order. Check them out. They've got, really, they had a ton of really cool prints. The shirts this time of year are great because they're breathable. Jake loves them for golf. And if you're a big golfer, great golf gear. But anyway, check them out, and we appreciate their support. We'll talk to you guys again later this week. And from the bottom of my heart, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.